What if I told you that the person you married wasn't chosen by your mind but by your karma? What if every smile, every fight, every heartbreak was already set in motion long before your first I love you? This isn't about romance, it's about remembering. And in Buddhism, what we call love, fate, or coincidence often has far deeper roots. Today, you'll uncover why some marriages feel like home and others like prisons, why we're magnetically drawn to those who hurt us, and how to transform even the most painful love into spiritual freedom. Stay until the end, because this may change how you see every relationship, past, present, and future. Let's begin. The hidden blueprint of marriage. Lesson 1. Marriage begins before meeting. In Buddhist thought, karma is the blueprint behind our most important meetings. That first glance, that powerful connection. It didn't begin in this lifetime. A monk once said, "The person you marry is often not new, they are simply returning. Whether it's love, pain, or a mixture of both, the roots are often ancient." Story. A man asked a Zen master, "Why does marriage feel so heavy?" The master replied, "Because it is built on karmic debt, not emotional lightness. You're not just married to her, you're married to your shared past. Sometimes that heaviness is the echo of past choices. A marriage can be a reunion not of joy, but of lessons unfinished." Buddhist teachings explain that what arises now is shaped by past volitions. You feel the weight not only of this moment, but of what was unresolved long before. Reflection. Did you fall in love, or did your soul remember something it needed to resolve? Karmic attraction isn't always kind. Lesson 2. Attraction is not always love, sometimes it's karma. Have you ever felt pulled towards someone who wasn't good for you? That magnetic draw is often mistaken for love, but it may be karma asking to be completed. You recognized the one who owed you pain, a temple caretaker once said. Story. A woman married a man who constantly hurt her. Friends warned her. Logic screamed no, but something inside pulled her forward. Years later, broken but awakening, she realized he was a karmic mirror. We often romanticize attraction, assuming it's a sign from the universe. But karma works silently. You may feel chemistry, but that chemistry may be a spiritual tension begging for release. Karmic bonds don't always come to comfort us. Sometimes they come to confront us. Reflection. Attraction is not always a green light. Sometimes it's a karmic door you're meant to walk through, learn from, and leave. The mirror of marriage. Lesson 3. You don't marry a person, you marry a mirror. In Buddhism, all relationships reflect the mind. The person you marry will show you who you are, what you believe about yourself, and what you've yet to heal. "He always criticizes me," a woman said. The monk replied, "Did you criticize yourself first?" Story. A man married a woman who always made him feel not enough. Eventually, he realized she wasn't the source, she was the reflection. Marriage, in this sense, is not companionship, but reflection. When a partner triggers anger, insecurity, or fear, they're revealing something you've carried all along. The illusion is believing that healing lies in changing them. But Buddhism teaches, heal the source, not the symptom. Reflection. Every complaint you have about your partner might be a doorway to something unhealed in you. When love feels like a lesson. Lesson 4. Some marriages are classrooms, not sanctuaries. Not all unions are meant to be comfortable. Some are forged by karma to awaken your deepest awareness. You do not marry someone to complete you, a Zen master said. You marry them so you may realize your own completeness. Story. A man stayed in a marriage that drained him. When he asked a monk if enduring was noble, the monk said, "Number, that is attachment in disguise." Marriage can be a classroom of impermanence, ego dissolution, and radical self-honesty. If the lesson is ignored, suffering deepens. But if embraced, every pain becomes a doorway. Reflection. Are you growing through love or suffering through attachment? The illusion of destiny. Lesson 5. Not everyone who feels fated is meant to stay. Buddhism doesn't teach that love is fate. It teaches that everything arises from causes and conditions. Some marriages are not new beginnings, but unfinished business. Why did he leave? A woman asked. Because once you left him first, the monk said. Story. A woman was abandoned by her husband. In meditation, she saw herself walking away from someone in a past life. Her pain wasn't random. It was resolution. Karma is not cruel, it is corrective. When someone leaves, it may not be a betrayal, but a balancing. The truth behind loss often lies in a soul memory. Reflection. Painful love doesn't mean failed love. It may mean fulfilled karma. The two types of union. Lesson 6. Some marriages reflect pain. Others awaken dharma. There are karmic marriages, and there are dharmic marriages. One reflects your past, the other supports your path. The goal is not to marry someone who makes you happy, a master said. It is to walk beside someone who makes you conscious. Story. Two people married not for romance, but to serve others. Their love was quiet, consistent, and free of drama. This is Dharma, the teacher whispered. This is sacred. In a dharmic union, love becomes service. Partnership becomes purpose. The goal is not to be adored, but to be awakened, and together to offer something greater to the world. Reflection. Is your marriage feeding ego or awakening presence? When love becomes laborious. Lesson 7. Love that drains you isn't love, it's a lesson. When the connection becomes a full-time struggle, Buddhism asks us not to push harder, but to see clearer. Right effort means using energy to reduce suffering. If your marriage multiplies your pain, your effort is misplaced. Story. A woman gave everything to make it work only to lose herself in the process. Her therapist said, "This isn't love, this is survival." Attachment makes us believe that enduring suffering is proof of love. But in Buddhist practice, suffering is not noble when it's unnecessary. Awareness is the way out. Reflection. If your peace increases in their absence, the karmic bond may be complete. The silent exit of love. Lesson 8. The end often comes in stillness. Real endings don't always come with slammed doors. Sometimes they come with a breath, a knowing, a letting go. I didn't stop loving him, she said. I just started loving myself more. Story. One morning, a woman looked at her husband and felt peace. Not love, not hate, just peace. She knew the karma was over. When silence feels like resolution instead of resistance, something sacred has occurred. Not the death of love, but its completion. Reflection. Peace is the sign. Not the fire, not the fight, but stillness. How to end karma with grace. Lesson 9. You end karma understanding it. You don't break karmic cycles by staying or running. You break them by becoming conscious. Forgive them, a monk said, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. Story. A woman finally left her marriage, not in anger, but in blessing. "I release you," she whispered, "and I release myself." Karma doesn't end with payback. It ends with peace, with clarity, with love that no longer needs to hold on. Reflection. Letting go with love ends the karmic loop. Staying in bitterness repeats it. The marriage that awakens. Marriage is not about finding someone to keep. It's about meeting someone who helps you remember who you truly are. You marry not by accident, but by alignment. You love not always to stay, but sometimes to grow. You let go not because it failed, but because it fulfilled. You don't fix the mirror by shouting at it, a Zen saying goes. You cleanse your own perception. And perhaps that is what marriage is. A mirror, a fire, a teacher. One that reflects not just the other, but the deepest corners of your own soul. Final questions. Who are you really married to them, or your karmic story? Are you holding on from love, or from fear? Is it time to forgive, to awaken, or to release? If this message resonates, subscribe to the Enlightened Mind. Leave a comment below. What truth did this video help you see?